Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here. You know, I get questions all the time on what kind of art supplies I like to use, so I want to take you on a little tour. Come on into my studio, and I'm going to give you a little tour of some of the art supplies that I like to use. I've got stuff everywhere, all over my office, but we'll just start right here. So I've got a bunch of stuff that I use. I have got, first of all, I'm using these. These are from Leather Village. These are handmade little pieces of watercolor paper that I've been doing little paintings on. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful, amazing paper. This is my pride and joy. These pencils, you can see I've got boxes of them. These are the Mitsubishi High Uni 10B pencil. I get these on Amazon. They're awesome. They're very soft. It's a 10B. It's like drawing with chocolate. I just love these things. And they come 12 to a pack. I've got 4 packs left, or 4.5 packs left, which means I'm getting low because I go through them fast. I go through tons of newsprint. I love drawing on newsprint. And these pencils on the newsprint, I use this Canson newsprint, these 9 by 12 inch pads. They're great. And they take acrylic pen really well. They take the pencil really well. I love drawing with these. And these are drawings that I did up in Canada back in November in Churchill when we were drawing polar bears in person. And so you can see these, like I said, the pencil goes on really well. The white pen goes on really well. And so it's just a really great combination. So I have piles and piles of these as well. So those are good. I'm really into acrylic pens lately. It's something new that I've discovered. And so I've got these Thule Art boxes, and there's like 22 pens per box, and they come in all different families of colors. So like these are violets, these are kind of red and magentas, these are all the greens, and then I've got more reds here, and then they've got earth tones and orange and skin tones and all kinds of stuff. I got blues and yellows over here. I've got boxes of them, and they're great. These are they're not brush pens. These are more like a plastic tip, and so you can get some nice fine lines with them. Gouache, I use a lot of gouache as well. So gouache is an opaque watercolor. I always use Winsor Newton. That's my brand. It's a little more expensive, but you get quality. So Winsor Newton gouache and watercolor. We're going to get to the watercolors as well. I'm actually, on April 24th, I'm actually teaching a virtual acrylic workshop. And so I love Liquitex acrylics. They come out fluid. They're not too heavy bodied, and they're easy to mix. And so I love using Liquitex acrylics for my drawings and paintings. Everybody is always asking me what kind of eraser I'm using. These are General's kneaded erasers. This is one that I haven't opened yet, but you'll see piles of gooped up ones on my desk. So I use these a lot. All right, so we've got those. Let's see, I've got a lot of other kind of little brush pens in here, Pigma brush pens, which I love to draw with. So there's those. These are a must. So I've got piles of these as well. These are these Artistro white paint pens. And what's neat about them is they come 5 to a pack, and there's 5 different pens in here. And they all work amazingly. I love, and it's really cheap. That's the one thing I'm finding with acrylic pens, is that they're really inexpensive, and they're really effective. And I'll show you, some of the stuff that I'm able to do with that. I love markers, I love pens, I love brush pens, which, by the way, let's come over here. So this is my animation desk, but I also use it as my drawing desk. Right now I have it set up for drawing, so I built a drawing surface for it. And so I love working on gray toned paper. This is Strathmore toned blue mixed media. I also have Strathmore toned brown mixed media. It's a heavy paper, very heavy. It only comes to, I think it's 15 sheets. Yeah, it's only 15 sheets per pad. So it's like a cardboard, but it really takes mixed media really well. So you can do wet media, dry media, drawing media, all kinds of stuff, and it's really great. Matter of fact, these are 2 images that I did on Friday as live streams with acrylic pens, brush pens, pencil, all right here on this on the toned mixed media Strathmore. And so you can see that it takes the pens really, really well. I love drawing on those. I've also got, this is my watercolor setup. So I've got, you know, my palette I keep right here. This is some of my reference material. I'll put those here. So my palette, I make sure to have a nice, this is my Folgers I get from Sam's Club. So when I finish up my Folgers, oh, it smells like coffee. When I finish that up, that becomes my water container. So I like to fill it way up so I don't, you know, it's going to take a long time to get my water dirty. I hate changing my water. So here's my watercolor palette. And I like to buy, because I go through so much watercolor, I use tubed watercolors, and I just keep them in this box. And I get the biggest tubes I can buy. And like I said, and I keep a fairly simple palette. I know it looks like there's a lot in here, but there's not as much as you think. And you know, 1 or 2 or 3 blues, the same with gray, greens, violets, reds, yellows, that sort of thing. So, and earth, a couple of earth tones, and I am good to go. So I love watercolor. So because of that, down here, I keep all of my supplies, my watercolor supplies I keep down here. Matter of fact, let me move this out of the way, and you can see I've got all kinds of watercolor blocks, different sizes. This one I haven't even opened yet. They're all cold press. I don't like to work on hot press. Cold press is more toothy. It's got more texture to the paper, and you get better bleed, you get better control of the watercolor, and the watercolor can do what watercolor does. So I like that. There's different sizes, like I said. I've got, you know, this size here. There's a little landscape that I started back up in Yellowstone. I never finished. And then I've got lots of more of the, oh, here's the toned gray. So these are more of the mixed media. I keep a lot of supplies in here. This one's tan, another, so, you know, I've got different toned Strathmore mixed media pads. So it's important to have, I like to keep, because I work so much, I do so much art, I'm working every day, it's my job, I like having supplies everywhere. And there's always something at hand. What's in here? So this is more newsprint. Yeah, zoo drawings. I've got some zoo drawings in here. And going out and drawing animals in the wild. These are actually from my How to Draw Animals from Life course. These are the drawings that I did for that. Orangutan and the different baboons. Yeah, so that's these, a tiger. Horses, oh, for my horse course. In my How to Draw Animals from Life, the horse section. So that's all in here. So, you know, like I said, I keep sketch pads and all kinds of stuff all over the place. There's that. I've got a pile of acrylic pens, but one of my favorite things are my Bemojis. So this is a Bemoji pen right here. Let me move this because I want to show you what they look like in the pack. So in the pack, they come like this, and it's the Bemoji pen right there. If you go to the top, Dustin, right there. So, and then that's what they look like. And so if I take the tip off, there we go. The tip. It's a really nice synthetic. It's not a felt tip. It's a synthetic brush, and they work really, really well. Just got to be careful putting it back. And so well. One of the great things about them is that when they dry, they're waterproof. So it's like India ink, dries waterproof. So they're great for watercolor and brush pen combinations. Let me show you this one over here. This is a piece that I did as a demo. Set everything up. I've got this great setup here to do stuff, and you can see the scale of it. It's a big drawing. And so this was all done with brush pen and watercolor right over the top of the brush pen. So you can see it didn't bleed. And then if you can see the white in here, there's a little bit of acrylic pen in there. And so it's a big mixed media piece. And this is actually for sale on my site. But It's a lot of fun, and it just shows you. Oh, and let me show you the table itself. The way I've got this set up, I've got a big spool up on top with this roll of heavy drawing paper. This is also Strathmore paper that I buy in bulk, in big rolls. I put it on this spool, and it's like a conveyor belt. I can just pull it down, and I can do these drawings, cut it off, and I can go to the next one. Over here, this is just a $6 roll of painter's paper, which I also love to draw on. And this one as well, I can just do demonstrations, pull it over and just draw on it like a conveyor belt. And it's only $6 paper. I don't have to worry about it. And it's great for demos and teaching and all kinds of stuff. And because it's brown paper, it's really great for that mid-tone kind of feel. So there's that. So then we come over here, and this is my digital area and another medium that I love. So everything I was talking about was traditional media. I also work in digital media. So this is a Wacom Cintiq 32 Pro. They don't make the 32s anymore. They discontinued those, but they do make a 27. This one's still going strong for me. And you'll notice that I like to draw, and it's the same with over there. I like to draw in a very upright position, so that I don't get, I like to draw from the shoulder. I don't draw from the wrist, and I don't draw like this because it keeps you from getting carpal tunnel. And so I don't get wrist pain. And so everything is from the shoulder. I draw, there's my stylus, and we just draw like this. So this is a little sketch of a little character that I'm working on for another project. So I keep 2 monitors. Both the stands I created myself. I just built them in the shop. My wife and my father and I built them. Once I have drawings done and I want to document them, or if I'm doing hand-drawn animation and I want to shoot it, I've got a downshooter over here. And the downshooter is used very simply. Right now I've got all kinds of stuff piled on here. This is my other favorite drawing pad, are the Strathmore toned gray 9x12 pads. And you can see in here that I've got hundreds and hundreds of drawings. I've got piles of these pads. You can see I've got a pile of them over there. And I just like to work on gray paper because I like using that white to pull out highlights. And I've got all kinds of stuff. This is a few years old. This is one just sitting in the forest. I sat down in the forest and just drew all the plants out in front of me. And it was really great. Sitting on the beach on a lake up in Vermont. And I drew all the rocks and the water and everything sitting out in front of me. So that's that. But this is a downshooter, and so here, when I have animation that I want to shoot, I literally just use the phone that I'm being filmed on right now. I've got this magnetic ring, and I put the phone on here, and I can put the animation right here like this. The animation goes down. We put the image right here. Matter of fact, let me see it. Yeah, so I'll show you guys. It goes here, and we just go clip. It clicks in, and I can go zoom out and zoom in, and boom, we take a picture, and we're good to go. And so if I've got 100 drawings or 200 drawings, I just shoot them on my phone like that. Then I airdrop them over to my computer, where I import them into my TV Paint animation software, and I can play the animation that way. I can play with the timing, I can redraw, I can do all kinds of stuff. Or if I'm just shooting artwork, I put the artwork right here, put my my camera or phone on the downshooter, and this is how I shoot my artwork. I've got my lighting and all of that. That was long-winded. That was a long video, but I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of my setup in my studio and how I like to work. I've taken I've taken you guys on my studio tours before, but never really got into kind of the supply list and the things that I use. Those are some of my favorite supplies. When it comes to the acrylic pens, I just got a brand new set of pens. They're called Just Art, and I haven't even tried them yet. I'm an art supply junkie. If I see something that looks interesting, I order it, and then I try them out. So I don't have any particular acrylic pen. I have found that almost every acrylic pen that I've been ordering, I like. These are King Art, and I've used these, and I love these as well. These are brush pens. I just got these Nicety, different shades of gray, warm and cool gray acrylic paint pens. They've been great. So point being, There's some really good ones out there. I get everything on Amazon, so check them out. Winsor Newton watercolors. Oh, here's the other thing. This is a really awesome tool. So when I'm out in the field, I like to bring watercolors with me and paint traditionally. I do drawings on my watercolor pads. And this opens up. So it's the size of, it's like a wallet. And it opens up, and you got your cap right here. This opens up, and I've got a palette, which is very dirty right now, and my paints. This has got a little clip on it right here, and it clips right on, just like that. This is a little bottle of water, and so I can take that, pour that into here, and I've got water. This is a paintbrush, and then there's a little loop right here. See that little loop underneath, right there? That little loop takes my thumb, and boom, look at this. I've got a little palette, little paint set up. I got my water right here, and all I need is my paper, and I can sit and paint, boom, 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 boom. Done. When it's finished, fold it all up, get my thumb out of it, pour out the water, boom, back in the pocket, and you're good to go. It's awesome. So that's a little taste of my office. I'm probably missing half of the art supplies that I sometimes use, because like I said, I use all kinds of different things, lots of different pens. But the point is, experiment, have fun, make discoveries, and get out there and put some beauty back in the world. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.